Hello there, YouTube. This is Sibbles and Bits back at it again with another Inkbound daily. Today is the solo daily for April 9th, and today is the release of 1.0 for Inkbound, Rise of the Unbound, I guess, season? DLC? It's not a DLC. Anyways, admittedly, I was supposed to be on the marathon Twitch stream for the ask or play with the play testers. And by the way, I am a play tester, beta tester for the game, and yeah, I was supposed to make that, but then work went ahead and decided that the time that I would normally be home would be a great time to do an engineer readiness meeting. So I got held back, and some idiot, me, forgot their antivirds before going into work today. So I basically am all spun up and I have a splitting migraine headache, but we should be able to get through this because it's only one daily, right? Haha. um, so notably, I have not been like in the beta slash playtest for this update. So I know that quite a few things have been changed. I've sort of glanced at a couple of them, but as far as like having hands on, I have not. So I'm going to try to hit this with like a more open thought process, but I'll probably just, like weasel into my usual old ways. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Anyways, today's daily we are playing Magma Miner with Talons of Sin, going from Proving Grounds into Vengewood and then up against Cinder. Seems like a good daily for like the first day of the game, essentially. We also have whatever this mod is that I've already forgotten. Collecting orbs no longer reduces cooldown, and instead cooldowns are affected by our basic binding. As Magma Miner, this is very huge because our auto is, again, besides any like balance or like numbers changes, probably one of the best autos in the game. And being able to get CDR off of that is pretty huge because you can also theoretically get free hits on it, and it can also theoretically produce orbs. Again, maybe. A lot of stuff that I'm going to refer to is referring to a game in a previous update, so if anything, you can feel free to hit me with an OK Boomer down in the comments below. Reaper here is okay. It's it's potentially a little bit spicy because we're going to start with like 15 HP, but that shouldn't necessarily be a concern at the start, and it gives us a little bit of damage. At the end of the game, we should have a ton of HP due to Death Scythe, the vestige itself, and then after winning a combat, increase a random equip set by 1. Now, unfortunately, we are going to likely hit Venomous, and as far as following this seed, random effects like that are completely random. So if you're following this seed for the purpose of, again, no ill intent behind the word to copy this seed just to get a high score or something like that, um, your results may vary. But otherwise, Executioner seems decent. That one's new. And Vigorous. Vigorous got nerfed. Venomous. They renamed Poison Vapor to Poison Cloud. I'm never gonna live. We'll probably use Poison Vapors. They also reworked Magma Miner, I know that. Gain 1 stack heat whenever you hit an enemy at 10 stacks. Gain 25 movement. Reduce all attack binding cooldowns by 2. And deal double damage for your next attack binding. That's interesting. I'm not sure if that's good or not. Like, the double damage is nice, especially because you can time it. That actually probably You deal 225 now. You deal 85? What? You deal 65. Okay. Alright. For those of you who are unaware, Reaper Scythe gives us 1 max HP every time that we kill an enemy, but notably, it's actually being gained by the item itself, so up to twice per turn. Okay, that got nerfed hard. Okay, this is actually kind of a problem, because we're timed according to how many turns that we take. 1 on the first combat, 2 on normal combats, 3 on elite combats, I believe, and then 5 versus bosses. I don't know if that actually offsets the modifier taking 35 HP from us. Well, I mean, technically 18 turns, but we have only 2 books with 3 combats and a boss, assuming that the boss that we're fighting against does have mobs. Proving Grounds and Vengewood does have mobs, so we would be able to get HP off of them. But yeah, that's quite a pickle. This, honestly... Okay, it is yellow. Alright, I was about to say, this shouldn't be a green border for something that's definitely good for you then, because it definitely does not seem good for you. Yeah, I'll have to math that out and see if we can actually make that HP back. Nice new visual effects. Okay. So the one thing that we definitely need to look out for, not knowing of course what kind of combats we're going into anymore, all those very well could have been changed, is assuming that you only get 1 turn to beat the first fight. We need something that's actually going to help us 1 turn. And we're going to use our Quillings in order to exact that. Silence Metronome, smite the nearest enemy once, is 50 damage. That's not really going to help us at all. This is also 50 damage, not really going to help us. Some Everfrost could potentially, if I knew what the spawn pool was for this fight, because then I could possibly position myself to put myself next to a heavy, if there is one. I highly doubt that that's going to be useful, so we're going to go ahead and re-roll here. Ambusher got nerfed in cost, but that's not really that bad. What about you? Maybe the numbers changed for the sets, but that seems exactly the same. All of this is actually terrible for us too. I'm gonna re-roll again. Burnout Gauntlets, that's something that we might be able to use. It's technically not that good. I think that Powder Monkey is what we're going to go for here. 25 physical damage is 25% damage for all of our skills right now. It's not really the best like turn 1 oomph that we would be looking for, but eventually later we'll be able to liquidate this for 2 Striker, which will basically remove that movement penalty from us. Otherwise, Verdant Seed, if we're really concerned about getting our max HP back, that's honestly a pretty good choice. It's Verdant is 3 max HP now. Okay. And then of course doing 10% of our bonus of our HP as bonus attack binding, which is a multiplier, is pretty nice if we actually get to that. Otherwise, I could see Burnethal. Magma Miner obviously has a very close synergy to Burn, although it's not really that big now as compared to in previous patches, because in previous patches they used to gain omni damage or just overall damage with heat, and now it's sort of like a cadence character where you want to make sure that your 10th hit sets up your big payout attack. And burn doesn't do anything with that, except for the fact that, of course, at 3, you deal 25% bonus attack binding damage to enemies with burn. And that's about it. Yeah, I think it's powder monkeys here. These are terrible. I could see efficient leap, actually. Efficient leap is improving, noting that our skill is baseline 85. It's improving our skill by approximately 40%, which is an okay green aug. Green aug should be increasing you by like 50%, but it's got the extra movement in there, which is obviously appreciated. And moving doesn't, or using leap doesn't use our movement, so then we get to keep a lot of that. As far as... Oh, burn loses 20% of their stacks. So burn got nerfed? Why? Okay. Well, I'm going to assume that this still has the same AoE as I remember. Efficient Leap with plus 35 brings it up to a base of 120. Plus 25 means that we do 150 with our leap. That is a huge threshold to meet. Okay, I gotta make sure that I'm actually doing this correctly here. Do I think that quilling cages are actually important right now? Not really. I'd rather get 2 items. Prior, again, I'll stipulate we are working off of dated information. Getting money in dailies, not really that important to me. Okay, you guys have 110 still. Okay, good. So we can not leap you because our AoE is slightly smaller. I do like those new health bars. I kind of liked the visual of the old health bars, but these are more clear to see what exactly is going on here. How are we going to kill you guys in a turn? 10 spiked. What does spiked do? Am I able to... Okay, it's still 10 per, scaled by our physical power. So it's going to deal 15, or 13, my apologies. 13 times, that's 130 damage. Need to reset that. Is that no longer the case? Okay, I'm going to have to look at my key bindings then. Thank you, game. So we can do 130 extra damage to you guys. We reduce cooldown. Got 1 orb. Power orb doesn't matter when I pick it up. One, two, smash. That would bring you in range. This is currently dealing 82. That would not put you in range. Yep. Yep. Okay. We're not going to get turn 1 here. It's unfortunate, but what else can you do? If I had any say on the UI at this point, well, actually, let's go ahead and do that. Put in our feedback for the day. Alright. Yeah, even if I use this potion, it's going to prevent me from taking damage, which is important, but it's not going to kill this enemy. So I think we're just going to take the deficit, keep the potion, and buff this fool. What? What? I would really love to take Smoke Bomb, but we're going to go ahead and just dive into this Venomous set. I think that Smoke Bomb is overall just a significantly better skill. But, yeah, let's ride the lightning. Sea Trickle. On killing an enemy, 25% chance to gain 1 will. Seems pretty good. Stroke of Genius does scale our poison damage, which is notable. Yeah, I'm kind of about the Sea Trickle. Let's see what we got over here, though. This is a new guy. On defeating an enemy that has Shatter, inflict Shatter on the nearest enemy. Oh, that's so good. You know what? Now, let's just take 2 strokes of Genius. As much as I do want to Sea Trickle. Gain a free Binding Augment. I don't think that we can afford buying 2 Binding Augments here. Barricade. I don't like that. This is a crit, which doesn't really help us. It can. Alright, I have a plan. We're gonna just barely miss this lethal. By 4? Come on, man. Oh, how I have missed searching for Magic Pixel. There it is. Okay. It does exist. Another crit? Okay. Thank you, game. We're at max heat. I don't think we want to use that. Let you guys pour in around us. You're already dead due to poison, so we're not going to really worry about you. We're going to leap over here. Or do we double damage with this? I could see it. And then leap up here. I forgot what I was playing with. Bonk, bonk, leap. Then escape. This guy's going to charge at me. He's not going to walk forward, so we might as well try and get these guys a little bit closer over here. A little bit concerned about... definitely with the barricade blotter in play. This would have been a lot easier if Venomous would have hit, because then this would give us bonus damage. But alas, it did not. There we go. Perfect. Okay. With what we got, I think T-Bolt is probably the best option for us here. After Image obviously helps a little bit because of the fact that we can guarantee double damage go into After Image so long as using a non-offensive skill does not reset our heat like it did originally. Then we can utilize After Image in order to do double plus crit, which is quite fantastic. Otherwise, T-Bolt here allows us to deal 50% of the damage taken per stack of shocked. Okay. This is going to help solve our AoE, and it's also a decent single target for the amount of cost that it has. An additional 15 stacks of poison. See, at some point that's going to stop being useful. Of these options, so I'm going to take that. Not sure I'm willing to reroll anything here. I think we're just going to go ahead and take Outlawed Works. Might as well. Get a ton of magic damage, which is going to, again, buff our poison and our lightning bolt. We want a quest here. We don't want Carver's Refuge. We never want to waste a turn on Carver's Refuge when one is guaranteed to us. Binding Empowerment, maybe. I think it's a Sea Breach, honestly. We used all of our money re-rolling for the Powder Monkey stockpile. We ball. Miner's Gloves, what do you do? Omni damage per stack of heat. Unreliable, but it gives us Vigorous 3, which is pretty good. It allows us to trade HP a little bit better, but again, actually it'd be important to know if Vigorous goes through shielding or not. Because before, if I recall correctly, it still did, despite the fact it said that it was on losing HP. I would hope that they would have fixed that bug. But if not, we get to report that, which is always fun, I guess. I think that I'm more about getting uncommon augments here. Yeah, I'm going to choose that route. Blue Spine Cod gives +1 will reserve. We're going to use that for the boss. There is an argument of whether or not we're supposed to be using that here for this hard fight where we know that we're going to run into the treasure pod, but I believe that T-Bolt's going to carry us. We don't have to worry about that. If you guys could all 4 get hit, that'd be fantastic. Of course not. What was I thinking? We're probably going to use our Vengeful Infusion here. Oh, and the Vengeful Infusion will then be buffed by our heat gauge due to our Miner's Gloves. Okay. Okay, now I think we're cooking with gas. You can currently block, so let's just go ahead and deal damage. Just counting to make sure. Okay. 15 shielding. We're fine. Most of these enemies are going to die, which is going to allow us to get some Death Scythe. Then next turn, we have the double heat. We smash. Completely obliterate this guy. And just about everybody else. Now the one thing that I don't know how it works, is this going to use... this? It should not. It did not. Thank you. It used my heat though. That's a yikes for me, dog. I'm gonna choose to do that because I'm angry now. Mostly at myself. Okay. It's a little annoying. There we go. Well, if we want that Venomous set, this is how we're going to get it. Also gets us close to precision, which is pretty good. More vigorous and some damage resist isn't really doing it for me. Would we want to go into Poison Blood on inflicting bleed, inflict toxic, on inflicting poison, inflict hemorrhage? We don't really use both of those. That does seem like an interesting effect. And then Haunted, on gaining a blur, gain 1 additional stack of blur once per turn. On being hit without using HP, gain until the end of the next turn. That's not bad. That could be utilized. Let's go ahead and take Trader's Dagger. Works the best for us. I like Poison Vapor being free. Yeah, that's a good up tier. T-Bolt having a quicker cooldown is also quite considerable. It gets us into the 5 range, which is starting to feel like really good. Extracting Smash is also notable because it basically refunds. Obviously, we would really prefer it to give us cooldowns as well, but I feel like grabbing Extracting Smash is bad just because of Radical Rewrite. It might just be Quicken Lightning to reduce that cooldown. Yeah, I could see that. Especially because every other turn, or possibly even once every turn, we're going to be able to get 2 CDR on that. So then we use it, maybe bonk once, we go down to 4, and then, We're talking about going up against Cinder too. Extracting Smash is useless versus Cinder. Previously, again. I think we take Quicken Lightning here. I'll take another Vestigial Shrine, thank you.
The now silenced, he missed.
Double its sets permanently. I think that's Trader's Dagger. I don't really care about dealing an additional 10 stacks of poison every time that I hit something. Or I crit something. Apologies. And these are all just going to get ground up as soon as we defeat this boss. This has the most benefit for us. I suppose, actually, we can always go forward, assuming that this hasn't been changed. Nope, I can still utilize that. Whoa, these cost a glyph now? That is insanity. Now this is some stuff. Huh. Okay, I'll tell you what. We're gonna buy it all. Well, most. Most all of it. We're not gonna grab Verdant Blossom. And we are good to go. We will have to hit a money node in Book 2, which is going to hurt us a little bit, but it is what it is, I guess. Why are you over here? That's rude. Also, probably should have taken that. We're not going to be able to hit 3 people. Or are we? Nope. Oh, sorry if you guys can hear baby. He's not having a good time downstairs. Go ahead, T-Bolts and Smash. That'll take care of a majority of everybody. Next turn, we're going to get our cooldown reduction. Oh, geez! Little buyer boys. The heck is this? 48 incoming damage? What? I must have missed a patch note. Oh, because I phased him. Yeah, this is looking a bit spicy. We were probably supposed to heal last turn. If I could have done this differently, could have had the double damage on our smash. Still wouldn't have dealt enough damage to kill you. Interesting. Okay. Well, this is about to end quickly. We are gonna need to race some face. Still not gonna make it. Like, the thing that we might be able to do is kill enough enemies, but I don't think that that's gonna happen. Not the way that we did this. I probably wasn't supposed to panic. I totally panicked. Hmm. Trying to think if there's any other way out of this. Like, this obviously does well. Gets close. This is technically dealing more damage. It kills now, but probably not after I lose my double heat damage. Can I get the little guy in there too? Doesn't seem like it. Yeah, I'm gonna miss it by 2. Shame. Alright. So we should have healed at some point. Were we ever given access to healing? We were given Invigorate, but that would have been in juxtaposition of T-Bolt. Probably not the right move. Yeah, what the right move was, obviously, was to not freak out as soon as we were taking damage from all sources and trying to face race Giannis, because that was not the right move. It also didn't seem to work at all. I'll have to look back and see how I handled that. I think that this fight was winnable. Like, literally all I would have to do is hit this guy. Because taking damage on villain fights previously didn't mean anything. It would not deduct your score at all. So we could have gone down to 1, which is what would have happened if we would have dispatched this guy over here. Which is probably just the move that we used on you. Just aim it over here. Also could have taken out like either of these chompies. There was a big clustering of enemies here that we could have just attacked. We could have timed it with the lightning bolt a little bit better. I think we did that pretty well. Also trying to think of all the other things that we were offered. Yeah, I don't think that's really any of that was important. Yep, we just misplayed this. Like, ironically, having Warden 2, if we would have ground this up instead, this would have reduced everybody's damage by 1. Which at this case, you would deal 3. You would deal 3, you would deal 3. You're already being reduced by more than that. So that wouldn't have saved us. Yeah, interesting. Anyways, we're dead. Well, beep, 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 bap. Hopefully you guys still found the run enjoyable. If you have any feedback whatsoever, be it questions, comments, concerns, misplay alerts, be sure to leave that down in the comments below. And until next time, I will catch you guys around. Do we return home to see the final score? That button should say something different. That's all I have to say about that. Currently, quite a lot of people actually dying here. What is page 7? Otherwise, Dear Lord, Mumsy, Leto, names that I'm used to seeing. A lot of names that I'm not used to seeing. Is this just Leto? Anyways, yeah, I'll catch you guys around.